Hi everyone, good evening and good morning, and welcome to this contributor and materials lookup. So here we mainly discuss about any open PRs or issues and what everyone else is working on. And if you have any questions, we can also discuss the same. So uh, in today's agenda, we'll start with a couple of demos by our LFX mentees, Aryan and Dhanush. And then then it's open round. We will have Q&A or we can have any Q&A or discussions regarding any features or issues. So yeah, but before that, I see we have a few new people joining. So Smith, Tariq, hi, hello. Would you like to introduce yourself? Uh, mm, Smith, you are new, guys. You're not audible.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Sorry, it was connected to the mic. Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Smith, and I'm here with my colleague Tarek. We work at Delivery Hero, and we started using Litmus in the last quarter. And yeah, we are interested in improving this project while we improve its adoption across the org. And yeah, looking forward to knowing you all.
Thank you, Smith. Welcome to the community. And yeah. Tariq, would you like to go next?
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello.
So as Smith said, we are from a while now, and glad to meet all of you.
Okay, welcome to the community. So yeah, without any further delay, let's anybody else who wants to introduce themselves? Okay, yeah. So we can get started. Aryan, would you like to go first?
Yes, am I audible properly?
Yes. Yes.
1 second, I'll share the PR link. Here is okay. So in last month, I worked on adding new APIs and modification of the and continuation of our multiple project owner backend feature. So I did some commits and all. Due to my exams, it got little bit postponed, but I will complete my work as soon as possible. So I actually did some comments. I changed the database schema a little bit and added a new API get project owners and all. The get project owners gives the list of owners of the project. Like if we are if we are having multiple owners, it gives us all the owners of the project. And in send invitation and leave project API, I did some modification to cope up with the multiple project feature and added a new API, update a member role. And I will be adding a new API in 2 or 3 days. That will be like delete the project and delete project. So that will be one new API. And the front end work will be completed I will start front end work after the backend is completed and all. So I shared the link. You guys can take a look at it. Thank you.
Thanks, Aryan. Yeah. Dhanush, would you like to present?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Oh, okay. For I've
Yes,
pasted
Dhanush, you're
the
audible.
I've pasted the pull request link in chat. So for the past month, I've written tests for login, Chaos Hub and Chaos infrastructure. So I'm going to run the test and
If you would like to give a demo, it's fine. Otherwise,
yes.
we can do it.
I'm sharing the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. This is for test for login, and in first spec we actually send the invalid data and expect a error. Then in next spec we actually send a valid data and expect success. And last is through testing through REST API. This is for login page. And next for Chaos Hub, it has two parts. One is through REST API and UI. In REST API, first we actually log in and store the access token and project ID. And in Chaos Hub, we actually create one and edit and delete it. I think there is some error here. In Chaos Hub, I think I did not reload, so I'll actually have to check that. Okay, in Chaos Infra, same REST API and UI. First to REST API, we actually log in and store the access token and project ID, and then we create a environment chaos infra and update it and delete it. I don't know, I'm actually getting some error, so I'll correct it. I've finished.
Thanks, Dhanush. Yeah, you can surely get back to the issue. Yeah. So I think, yeah, the demos were pretty quick. Shayan, would you like to give some small updates on KubeCon? Okay, we can do it in the end, I guess. So yeah, anybody else want to discuss anything or any? Yes.
Can I share one thing?
Yeah, sure.
Hello. I wrote a pull request about K6 integration documentations, and all the features are merged, and all the remaining PRs are about the documentations. And after merging these PRs, I'm gonna write a tutorial about K6 integrations. So yeah, please take a look.
Sure.
Thank you.
We'll try to review this by this week or next.
Yeah, thank you.
Smith, you were saying something. Can discuss.
Yes. So I wanted to hear from maybe the people here on the call. So there are two of the issues that kind of we're trying to tackle with Litmus right now. One of them, I'll start with the easy one, which is the deadman switch. So let's say, I mean, in a scenario where, you know, people, so just to give a bit of context, we have Litmus, and then which is maintained by the resilience team in our organization. And then the engineers who are actually owning the service, they conduct the chaos experiments, and we are not there at that time. Now, let's say due to some reason, the control plane goes down or the UI goes down. You know, in this case, our engineers, they don't have access to go inside the cluster and manually abort the experiment and revert the faults. So in this case, we have some deadman switch functionality that if the control plane goes down, or like you could think about it like if the subscriber loses communication with control plane, then in this case, all the running experiment for that chaos infra should automatically get aborted. Because if you're doing this in production, you might end up, and if control plane is unreachable, then you might end up causing a potential incident, and you know you can have a bigger blast radius if you are not able to go and abort your experiment. So in this case, it would make sense to just automatically abort it if your control plane is not up. So do you guys, other people in the call, do you have similar situation, and how do you currently solve it? And then wanted to also discuss maybe some ideas on how we could implement this. I linked the
Hey,
issue in the
Smith.
chat. Hey, Nilanjan.
Yeah, sure thing. Hi, Smith. Just wanted to ask that, are you guys using any probes right now in order to assess that whether the service that you were mentioning, is it up or down?
So I know the probes are mandatory, but as you know, we are adopting Litmus. We are still in the earlier phase of adoption. Not many of our engineers, they use probes. They tend to just create a hello world probe and try to attach it to their experiment since it's mandatory. Uh, so yeah, and some experiments they might actually affect the, what do you say, steady state of the application, right? And we want to uh, I mean, not about the experiment with the probe at that time. I mean, one thing we explored was that have a probe to check the health of the control plane to see, if control plane is reachable. But then we have to make sure that this probe is attached to every experiment. And if somebody forgets to attach it, then also it's problematic, right?
Makes sense. The idea is, of course, to measure the resiliency of the entire platform, and in that, the probes go a long way. So, I mean, you can use resilience probes right now with 3.0. That just makes plugging in the probes much easier. And the reason you would want to use probes is it can be, just stop on failure, right? It just provides you the stop on
Yeah.
failure, which is essentially for these conditions itself, where if you have uh, a probe which is failing, and if it is, let's say, a continuous probe which just keeps on continuously monitoring for any kind of HTTP service endpoint, and it fails, it can immediately abort the experiment run and thereby safely revert any chaos that has been injected. What do you think about this?
This would work, but like I said, then we have to make sure that, let's say if we create a probe called admin switch and we have, let's say, 300 projects on Litmus, we need to ensure that this probe exists everywhere. And then the second thing is we need to make sure that every experiment is created with this probe, right? Now, this makes things tricky from the automation perspective. Is there a way we can enforce certain probes that, hey, you need to have these probes in all the experiments, or have probes that are not linked to a project but they're globally available? Another thing that we could explore is that, when, for instance, if the control plane is down, if subscriber loses connection before exiting the process, it could go and just abort all the experiment and then exit. This way, we kind of reduce the odds that something would go wrong or
Uh,
something like this.
yeah, hi Smith. Yeah, it is a good use
Hi.
case. We already considered this. So right now, subscriber, I mean, that is in our roadmap. That thing, if control plane is down or the UI is down, then ideally it should abort the experiments. I mean, the probe is good, but mainly it will be helpful if you are aborting the experiment based on, application health check or something. But if it is related to control plane, then definitely the execution plane or the subscriber should handle this. So right now, subscriber is keep sending its heartbeat to the control plane, and we can make a check there. Like if it is not able to, add a heartbeat, it is not, the control plane is it is not the control plane is not reachable, and after some some critical value, some timeout, we can do the abort for all the experiment which are scheduled for that. I mean, we can do that. I think that is
Okay.
already roadmap.
Yeah, so it's also something that I mean, it's kind of a requirement for us to increase our adoption of Chaos platform in our org. If you guys are open, maybe we could contribute this. Tarek from our company, he's kind of leading this initiative to have the kill switch functionality. I mean, sorry, deadman switch feature. To make sure this happens. There is one more. So when we were evaluating this thing, one more thing we noticed is that right now, subscriber does not have a back-off mechanism. So if it loses communication with control plane, the pod goes in crash loop back off. Maybe we need to, before we try to implement this, we need to have some sort of backup mechanism that it tries to reconnect to control plane for a given interval with some backup strategy. Otherwise, we might end up with false positives, right? Because the control plane pod, if it just, I mean, network is unreliable, right? So it can lose communication. Maybe it should first try to reestablish it few times. What do you think?
Yes, yeah. I mean, yeah, surely we should have that retry as well. Yeah, so we will happy to help in the contribution as well. So if you want to make the contribution, we will help.
Okay, okay. So
I think we can discuss, have a call with them, right? So later, yeah, I think it's a good use case
okay,
to have. Like, thanks for raising this issue. I guess, like we can discuss with Karthik, Shubham, and then we can maybe,
okay. So maybe we could just to align on the plan, maybe we could start with a mini RFC, just because there are two parts to this. One is to have the back-off mechanism in the subscriber, and then the second part is implementing, the abort of experiment if subscriber loses the communication. So might be good to, and this is a potentially a breaking change, right? So maybe have this behind a feature flag for now, and then in the next major version, we could make this the default behavior. So we could start off with an RFC. What do you think?
Yeah, I think,
Makes sense.
yeah.
yeah, you can
Okay.
raise a RFC. Maybe we can. RFC is good. So we are not maintaining any other RFC right now. We don't have any directory.
Okay.
But yeah, if you can raise a RFC, right, maybe we can take a look.
Sounds good.
Shall
Sounds
I
good.
move the issue to a GitHub discussion? I mean, there we can potentially discuss everything.
Works for us. What I saw, I think Namkyu, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, he created the proposals directory, right? Where you guys are putting all the proposals. Should we leverage that or GitHub discussion? What is the process?
Yes, I was going to say that. Yeah, proposal, adding a proposal would be good.
Sounds good. Then we'll do this. And then there is one more issue. I think this one needs a longer discussion. I'll maybe just share it here and want to hear your thoughts about it. So this one is, I think, one of the missing feature in every open source project for Chaos. Even Chaos Mesh doesn't have this. Litmus doesn't have this. So whenever a chaos experiment is running, if a new pod comes up due to a scaling event, or just the cluster autoscaler kicked in, is moving pods around between nodes, these new pods are not the fault is not injected in this new pods, right? And there is no way to do this right now. I mean, all the enterprise products like Gremlin or StudyBit, they kind of have this feature. And if you're running a chaos experiment in production, this is very essential because a lot of scaling is happening, scale up, scale down when an experiment is running, right? Especially if you try to run the experiment during the peak hours. So do you guys see value in having this feature? And I know this is like going very deep into the implementation of False itself, and we are happy to dig through. But maybe if you have some guidance on how to approach this, it would be nice. Anyone has any idea or suggestions? I mean, we were planning to dissect the fault to understand how the fault flow works in upcoming days, and then try to come up with a proposal. But if somebody has any ideas and that we can build upon, that would be very nice as well. Well, I take that silence as no, then we can take this offline.
Yeah, I think we can discuss this one offline with Karthik and Shubham and other team members.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks, Smith. Yeah, anybody else who wants to share something?
Just one question regarding the recent release of 3.50. The Helm charts still installed version 3.10. Just wondering, is there a plan to update those, or is that something we should do? Or
Yeah, it should be available in the upcoming release. Vedant, would you like to answer?
Yeah, hey everyone. So yeah, I mean we have started just working on upgrading our Helm charts to 3.x version. So I was just going through and I saw some PRs which some community members had already raised. So I was thinking first let's take them, and then we can do the upgrade. So I think in last week and this week we merged some PRs. So by upcoming release, I think 15, we should have it compatible with 3.x.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, anybody else? Right. Shayan, would you like to share some updates on the KubeCon?
Yeah, sure. I'd like to. So, hey guys, I'm Shayan. I was present at KubeCon EU this year along with the other folks from Litmus. We had a great time, and I can give you a day-wise breakdown maybe, and hopefully that helps to get a brief idea of what went through in KubeCon for Litmus. So on day one, we had a session which is like I'm talking about March 20th, not the 19th. So day one, we actually had a session on principal platform engineering, which was basically used as a methodology or kind of a proactive approach to kind of like create this thought or like adoption of a chaos first mindset in the platform engineering field. So we also had the backstage plugin contributed by Namq. So we wanted to kind of integrate that and get it out to the community and foster this chaos first mindset ideology in platform engineering. So it does not have to be specifically for dev and ops and all the good things we have been advocating till now, but you can definitely move forward and start with a proactive chaos first mindset in platform engineering too. So that was the day one, which was presented by me and Raj from FIS, Raju. Followed by day two, where we basically had a lot of engagement and interest in the Litmus booth in the project pavilion, where a lot of people came up, who are already adopting Litmus, were already using it. Some of them had wanted to get a overview of what Litmus is like. Some of the other tools they've been using, the pros and cons and things like that. So yeah, day two was great. And then we ended it with day three, where we had two more sessions on the maintainer track as well as Contrib Fest. So maintainer track was joined by me and Shubham, where we talked about how we can, target managed services, like because of a transparency challenge, basically for people leveraging or using managed service based approach. Oftentimes the infra that is being used to deploy stuff, being used to deploy the managed services are opaque to us. And that's therefore we wanted to kind of leverage this concept and idea of how you can proactively target that as well and not just rely on the vendors that you're choosing to for uptime guarantee. So that is where we kind of introduce this SM chaos, the concept of how you can use the Litmus SDK to create your own experiments, and then also talked about some of the scenarios, the whats and hows of uh, chaos in such scenarios, like your RDS failing over or your misconfigurations in, let's say, Lambda. So it was kind of AWS specific in terms of examples, but yeah, the idea was to generally mitigate this opaque block that you get for chaos in managed services. So yeah, that was the general idea of the maintainer track. Then we moved into some of the SDK updates and some of the roadmap, future roadmap for Litmus, where we had a detailed discussion by Shubham on what we are planning and everything. So before I move on, I will actually post the links for them, maybe, so you guys can see. The recordings are out now, so it's open for everybody. Let me take this and take the other. So I'll post them on chat. Yeah, these are the two links.
So the first one is for the day one talk, and the second one is for the maintainer track. So the recording is out, so you guys can go and watch it at your own pace. The abstract is also right below it, so it should be fairly easy to follow. And finally, we ended the day with Contrifest, where Michael also joined us, and we had a great time. Helping other people contribute to Litmus, help them getting started, and we met a lot of the community members as well during that. Also, all throughout KubeCon, we had a great time meeting up with the community members, and it was a great time for all of us. And hopefully, if you guys did not join it, maybe we guys meet in the future in some of the events. But yeah, so we had a good time helping the community get up to date with Litmus 3.0, and they also installed it and started using it, started contributing. We had some of the great PRs as well from the Contrifest. By the end of the Contrifest, we had like a good number of PRs, and even now the good first issues are open. So if anybody wants to jump in, they can definitely do so. But yeah, we had a good amount of contribution that day. So yeah, that's how we ended up KubeCon. And, that's about it. I think if you guys want to add anything more, so yeah, Shubham.
I think you have covered it mostly. Shubham, would you like to share something?
No, I think he covered almost everything.
Yeah, so it was like for three of us, it was first time speaking at KubeCon, and we had a pretty good time attending that. So yeah, thanks, Shyam.
Yeah.
So yeah, before wrapping up, like anybody else want to share anything? You can wrap up. All right, I guess stop the sharing.